She leaned in, voice sharp. You wouldn't break up with me just because we're moving to a different city, would you? There it was. With one deft move, she twisted the issue into a test of my loyalty. I looked at her, and for the first time, she felt like a stranger. The girl who once shared my dreams had vanished. In her place stood someone doing a cost-benefit analysis, someone willing to use emotional blackmail to get her way. The conversation ended with neither of us giving in. Chloe stormed out, slamming the door behind her, leaving me alone with cold food and shattered plans. That weekend, the company organized a team-building offsite at a large Airbnb in the suburbs. Chloe was driving. Ethan slid naturally into the passenger seat. Hey, Chloe, he said, feigning embarrassment. I get a little carsick. Do you mind if I ride up front? Chloe jumped in immediately. Of course not. Motion sickness is the worst. You have to sit up front. Only then did she turn to me, her expression a mask of apology. Leo, Ethan isn't feeling well. Would you mind sitting in the back? You never get carsick, so it should be fine, right? Her words sounded like a question, but she was already holding the door open for him. There was no space for me to refuse. I didn't say anything. She had already made her choice. Why waste my breath? I climbed into the back, a heavy feeling settling in my chest. The entire drive, Chloe and Ethan laughed and chatted, their easy rapport making me feel like a third wheel. I put my AirPods in and blasted music, but even then, I caught Chloe's reflection in the rearview mirror, her eyes bright whenever she looked at him. I used to be the one she looked at like that. Outside the window, the scenery blurred past. My heart sank with every mile. At the house, the group started a game of truth or dare. The first spin landed on Chloe. Sarah winked. Okay, Chloe, out of all the guys here, who would you want to take care of the most? Every eye darted between Chloe, Ethan, and me. I stared at my phone, pretending not to care. Chloe hesitated, her gaze lingering on Ethan a moment too long before finally landing on me. My boyfriend Leo, of course, she laughed. Is that even a question? It was the perfect answer, but that split second of hesitation pierced straight through me. People cheered, teasing me about how lucky I was. Ethan picked up a drink and gave me a sympathetic smile. Leo, man, don't get the wrong idea. Chloe helps me out a ton at work, but I know she's all about you. It sounded reassuring, but it was really a declaration. Later, Chloe knelt down to tie Ethan's ankle to hers for a three-legged race, reminding him to be careful. The gesture was effortless, intimate. The crowd whistled again. I sat in the corner watching them, a cold realization settling deep in my bones. They had built a world of inside jokes and shared moments. Everyone could see it. Everyone, except the official boyfriend. During the barbecue, I made an excuse and slipped out to the deck alone. A few minutes later, Chloe found me. What are you doing out here by yourself? Everyone's looking for you. She offered me a can of Coke. I didn't take it. Chloe, I said, my eyes fixed on the distant city lights. My voice was steady. Are you hiding something from me? Her body tensed for a brief moment before she relaxed into a casual posture. No, of course not. Why would you ask that? Then what's really going on between you and Ethan? I couldn't hold it in anymore. Chloe let out a sigh, that familiar blend of exhaustion and irritation coloring her tone. Leo, can we not do this right now? I'm exhausted. Does everything have to turn into a fight over something so small? Small, I laughed, but there was no humor in it. This is small to you? What else would it be? She snapped, her brow furrowing. Nothing is going on. We're just colleagues. Why are you so obsessed with this? Can't you be a little more mature and just trust me? Trust you, I repeated, the irony burning my tongue. The same person who had confidently declared in the break room that I was a spineless follower who couldn't survive without her was now demanding my trust. In that moment, the last shred of hope I'd been clinging to finally disintegrated. The day after we returned from the offsite, I received an unexpected call. Mr. Walker, hello. This is HR from Nexus Corp headquarters in San Francisco. We received your application during the spring recruitment cycle. After an internal review, our team was very impressed with your profile, and we believe you'd be an excellent fit for the Vanguard program for new graduates. My heart skipped. I was wondering if you've accepted another offer yet. We'd be thrilled to invite you for a final round of interviews. The Nexus Vanguard program. It had been Chloe and Mai's ultimate dream. The program was famously exclusive, accepting only a handful of graduates from top universities each year. The standards were impossibly high, but the career trajectory was unmatched. We'd prepared for it together for months, only to both be rejected after the final round. And now, out of nowhere, a second chance stood right in front of me. I haven't accepted another offer, I said without hesitation. I'd be honored to interview. After hanging up, I stood by the window and took a deep breath. Maybe this was fate. Fate telling me that I was meant to conquer that sky we once dreamed of on my own. I took a few days off work to prepare, burying myself in research and mock interviews. My roommate and best friend, Ben, watched me burning the midnight oil and shook his head. Dude, you're in overdrive. But seriously, what's going on with you and Chloe? I thought she was set on Austin. Why are you still interviewing for Bay Area jobs? I told him everything, every word I'd overheard in the break room. When he finished, Ben shot up from his chair, furious. Are you kidding me? That narcissistic gaslighter. Who the hell does she think she is? Like the world stops spinning if she's not in charge. He pointed at me. Leo, don't you dare be an idiot and follow her to Austin. A woman who ditches a 4-year plan for some intern will dump you for the next shiny thing without hesitation. I nodded. I know. That's why I have to nail this interview. Ben clapped me hard on the shoulder. Damn right you do. Go show her. Show her that Leo Walker is 10 times better off without her. Let's see who comes crawling back then. With his support, the last trace of doubt evaporated. The day of the interview, I was on fire. I faced a panel of senior executives, calm and collected, answering every question with precision and confidence. All those difficult projects Chloe and I had tackled together, every late-night industry debate, weighed in my favor now. When it was over, the lead interviewer nodded. Mr. Walker, thank you for your time. Please keep your phone on. We'll be in touch within 3 business days. Stepping out of the Nexus Tower, the bright San Francisco sun made me squint. Surrounded by skyscrapers piercing the clouds, I felt a sense of certainty I hadn't known in years. This was where I belonged. 3 days later, the official offer arrived. Staring at the email, the salary, the signing bonus, my eyes burned. 4 years of sleepless nights and relentless effort had finally paid off. I told Ben immediately, and he insisted on taking me out for a celebratory steak dinner. Chloe knew nothing. She was busy finalizing her contract in Austin, practically floating these days. That night, she came home holding 2 movie tickets. Babe, let's go see a movie to celebrate me officially accepting the Austin offer. She was glowing. I looked at her, my heart perfectly still. Chloe, I began. My offer came through. Her eyes lit up. Really? Which company? Is it in Austin too? I knew you'd come with me.
We had been planning for San Francisco for 4 years. But today, in the office break room, I heard her best friend's teasing voice cut through the hum of the coffee machine. Damn, Chloe, you really did it. You turned down a job in the Bay Area for that intern, and you're moving to Austin? What about Leo? I thought you two were San Francisco or bust. Chloe's light laugh followed. It's fine. He doesn't really have a mind of his own. Once I'm settled, he'll follow me. It's not like he could make it in the Bay Area by himself. My coffee mug froze midair. After a long moment, I quietly retreated down the hall without making a sound. That day, I didn't ask her about her job search like I always did. I didn't bring up our future plans. I wasn't heartbroken, at least not the way I had imagined I would be. I just felt calm, a quiet, resolute calm. I went back to my desk and kept polishing my applications for jobs in San Francisco. I knew then that some journeys have to be taken alone. Inside the break room, Sarah pressed on, clearly confused. Doesn't have a mind of his own? Seriously? Leo seems like he's got his act together. Weren't all your big class projects basically his proposals? The ones he pulled all-nighters on? A note of impatience crept into Chloe's voice. I set the strategy and the framework. He's just an execution guy. He's good at making PowerPoint decks look pretty, but when it comes to actual big decisions, he's always done what I said. She paused, and her next words were even colder. Besides, what would he do without me? If he went somewhere like the Bay Area alone, he'd come crawling back in less than 3 months. I'm actually doing him a favor by taking him to Austin, saving him the trouble. Sarah let out a low whistle. Damn, Chloe, you've got him wrapped around your finger. A solid career path and a cute guy who follows you like a puppy. You've got it all figured out. The warmth from my mug did nothing to stop the chills spreading through my chest. So that's all I was to her. An accessory, a dependent, someone who couldn't survive without her. For a long time, I just stood there. Then I turned and walked silently away. Back at my desk, my resume was still on the screen, the one I'd revised 100 times for San Francisco tech firms. Every word seemed to mock my own naivete. Chloe and I had been together since freshman year. I remembered us standing on the hill behind the campus library, looking out at the distant, hazy glow of the city skyline. Chloe looped her arm through mine. Leo, let's go to the Bay Area together. That's where dreams are made. We'll go there and build something for ourselves. I nodded so hard my neck hurt, the ambition in my eyes shining brighter than the city lights. For that shared goal, I turned down a full fellowship for my master's degree. I said no to a comfortable, stable job my parents had lined up for me back home. We spent our college years in a blur of library study sessions, competitive internships, and late nights fueled by caffeine as we worked on one project after another. I thought we were partners, soulmates on a shared mission. I never once questioned whether we meant equal people until today. At 5 p.m., a text from Chloe popped up on my phone. Hey babe, what do you want for dinner? I can order from that Thai place you love. I stared at the message for a long time and didn't reply. A moment later, a push notification from a news app appeared at the top of my screen. Why graduation season is breakup season. My eyes fixed on the headline. First came shock, then a low, bitter laugh escaped my lips. That old cliché, the one I'd always scoffed at, was now the perfect, brutal summary of my own story. It turned out Chloe and I weren't the exception. I swiped the notification away and went back to scrolling for job openings on LinkedIn, filtering for positions in San Francisco. I had fought too hard to reach my own summit to become a trailing member of someone else's climbing team. If she wanted to get off at the next station and switch trains, all I could do was wish her a pleasant journey. My own train, however, was going to keep roaring ahead. She had her choice. I had my destination. Our tracks diverged here. When I got back to her off-campus apartment, Chloe had already picked up my favorite spicy chicken curry from the Thai place down the street. She was humming in the kitchen, prepping the rice. You're back. She poked her head out, a few stray hairs stuck to her forehead with sweat, her smile as bright as ever. Go wash up, it's almost ready. I made sure they gave us extra coconut rice, just how you like it. On any other day, I would have walked up behind her, wrapped my arms around her waist, and called her the best girlfriend in the world. But today, I just forced a tight smile. Okay, and walked straight to my room. She must have sensed my coldness. Just before I closed the door, she asked, "What's wrong? Did the job search not go well today?" No, it was fine. My answer was short, leaving no room for discussion. I shut the door and threw myself onto my bed, my mind a tangled mess. The intern Sarah mentioned named Ethan. He joined our company 2 months ago, clean-cut, witty, with a charm that easily won people over. When he first started, he was clueless, and as his assigned mentor, Chloe had taken him under her wing. I hadn't been completely oblivious to the subtle shift between them, like how Chloe's phone background changed from a picture of us to a generic landscape. She said it looked more professional. Or how she started working late more often, and on those nights, Ethan was always coincidentally there too. I even joked about it once, asking if she had a crush on a new guy. She pinched my cheek and put on a serious face. Don't be ridiculous, I'm just helping him out, a senior mentoring a junior. It's tough moving to a big city alone, so I'm just giving him a hand. Don't overthink it. You're the only one for me. I believed her, because in 4 years, Chloe had never lied to me. She had always been my rock. But now, all those assurances, every word of that so-called mentorship, had become the sharpest of knives, shredding my trust to pieces. Dinner was heavy with silence. Chloe tried to start conversations, but I deflected each attempt with distracted answers. Finally, she put down her fork and looked at me seriously. Oh, Leo, I've been thinking about our careers. I have a new idea I wanted to run by you. My stomach dropped. I knew this was it. Go on. I've been looking at some opportunities in Austin lately. The tech scene there is exploding, and the lifestyle is way more relaxed than the Bay Area. The pressure isn't as insane. I was thinking maybe we should consider moving there instead. She watched my reaction carefully, choosing her words to sound collaborative and reasonable, careful not to admit she'd already made her mind. I laughed coldly inside, but kept my face neutral. Why the sudden interest in Austin? I thought we were all in on San Francisco. Her eyes flickered away for a second. It's not sudden, I'm just looking at the whole picture. The cost of living in the Bay is insane. The competition is brutal. It would be a real struggle for us right out of college. Austin's different, and the food scene is incredible. You love barbecue and tacos, right? I could take you out for brisket every weekend. She was trying to bribe me with food. But our entire career plan, our networking, it's all been focused on fintech in San Francisco. Her patience snapped. Plans can change, Leo. We're not robots. Does it really matter where we build our careers as long as we're together?
The smug certainty in her voice grated on my nerves. It's not Austin, I said quietly. It's San Francisco, the Vanguard program at Nexus. Her smile froze, then shattered. She stared at me, then let out a disbelieving laugh. Leo, stop joking. We both got rejected. I'm not joking. I showed her the email. The color drained from her face as she reread it again and again. How? She whispered. How would they contact you and not me? I guess I was a better fit. That broke something in her. Her voice shot up, sharp and accusatory. And you didn't tell me? You just let me think you were coming with me? Were you trying to humiliate me? I looked at her, frantic and cornered, and almost laughed. Did you tell me when you decided on Austin? Or when you told Sarah I couldn't survive without you? Her face went pale. I was joking, she stammered. Were you? I laughed coldly. I took it seriously. I picked up the movie tickets and held them out. You should go alone, or take Ethan. I'm sure he'd love to. I walked into my room and shut the door. Graduation day was bright and sunny, caps and gowns, endless photos. Chloe and I didn't take a single one together. At dinner, when post-graduation plans were announced, Chloe stood up. I've accepted a position in Austin. All eyes turned to me. Sarah laughed nervously. And Leo's going too, right? Chloe stared at me, waiting. I stood. I wish Chloe the best in Austin, I said calmly. As for me, I've accepted an offer with Nexus Corp in San Francisco. Silence. Chloe's knuckles whitened around her glass. Leo, she hissed. I ignored her. The night unraveled quickly after that. She drank too much. Later, outside a karaoke bar, she grabbed my wrist. Do you have to be so cruel? You threw away our promise, I said coldly. You chose Austin. You chose Ethan. What right do you have to question me? I left without looking back. I boarded my flight to San Francisco alone. Her final message begged me not to go. All I heard was the same old disbelief in me. San Francisco welcomed me. Work consumed me. I thrived. When Chloe reappeared at the airport months later, broken and desperate, I felt nothing. I chose myself. They had become a constant, unwelcome distraction. I confronted her again and again, told her, warned her, demanded that she stop harassing me. She ignored every word, stubbornly continuing her campaign of public penance. One night, I worked late. When I finally stepped out of the building, she was there, as always. San Francisco winter had fully set in. A cold, biting wind tore through the street. She was wearing only a thin jacket, shivering uncontrollably, clutching a thermos in both hands. She spotted me and hurried over, a hopeful, pleading smile breaking across her face. Leo, you're finally done. I made you some soup. You should drink it while it's hot. It'll warm you up. I looked at her chapped, purple-tinged lips, the deep exhaustion carved into her face, and felt an overwhelming wave of fatigue. How had we ended up here?
trapped in this embarrassing, drawn-out battle of wills. "Chloe," I asked, struggling to keep the irritation out of my voice, "what do you really want?" "I want you back," she said as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "That's not going to happen." My words were swift and sharp. "Why?" The light in her eyes flickered, then dimmed. "Because I made one mistake? You're really going to give me a life sentence for one mistake? Nobody's perfect, Leo. Can't you just give me another chance?" My voice turned cold. "Chloe, you still don't get it. I didn't leave you because you made a mistake. I left because I finally saw you for who you really are. Your selfishness, your arrogance, your complete and utter disrespect for me as an individual. We were never on the same path. We were just two kids who happened to walk together for a little while." I finished speaking and turned to leave. Suddenly, she lunged forward and wrapped her arms around me from behind, clinging tightly. "Leo, don't go." She buried her face into the back of my coat, her voice choked with sobs. "I was wrong. I know I was wrong. Please, don't leave me." The proud, confident Chloe I had known for 4 years was gone, replaced by a desperate, weeping child clutching my back. My body went rigid. I stood there and let her cry, but my heart remained a cold, silent stone. Tears can work if love is still alive. They can earn comfort, soft words, maybe even new promises. But when love is dead, tears are nothing more than a cheap, irritating currency. After a long time, my voice came out terrifyingly calm. "Chloe, are you done crying?" Her body stiffened. The sobs stopped abruptly. The dim glow of the streetlight stretched long, pathetic shadows across her tear-streaked face. She started to speak, but I cut her off. Everyone makes their own choices, and everyone has to live with the consequences. Slowly, deliberately, I pried her fingers off my coat, one by one, then turned to face her. "You chose Austin. You chose Ethan. You chose to belittle me so you could feel superior. Those were all your choices." I met her gaze. "And now I've made mine. I choose San Francisco. I choose to rely on myself. And in the life I've chosen, there is no longer any room for you." She stared at me, completely stunned, then stumbled back a step. The look in her eyes finally collapsed into a hollow gray emptiness. "I understand," she whispered, her voice so faint it was almost stolen by the wind. She gave me one last lingering look, then turned and walked away, dissolving into the endless night. Her lonely silhouette stretched long and thin beneath the streetlights. This time I knew she was gone for good. I stood there on the sidewalk, watching until she disappeared completely. I drew a deep breath of the frigid air. It burned my lungs, but it felt clean, leaving behind a sense of clarity and release I hadn't felt in years. I never saw Chloe again. Through the grapevine, I heard she eventually left the Bay Area and moved back to her hometown, settling into a safe, unremarkable life. As for me, I continued at Climate Nexus. A year later, I graduated from the Vanguard program with honors and was promoted to project manager in the Strategic Investment Division, one of the youngest in the company's history. Sometimes I still think about her, the girl who once stood on a hill beside me, dreaming about the future under a sky full of stars. But the memory no longer hurts. It's just a faded photograph from a chapter of my youth, a reminder to always stay clear-eyed, to always be my own person, to always live for myself. My future was a universe of stars, waiting to be explored.